So today we are going to work on writing partitive division problems. There are 5 steps, much like our measurement division problems, which we worked on last week. The only difference is that we are using partitive division, which is where the divisor tells us how many parts we have, and that divisor is that second term in our division problem. The quotient then represents what the size of each part is. So we're going to use the example of 50 divided by 2/3 to write our partitive division problem for today. So step 1, much like last time, is to decide on an interpretation. Because we used measurement division last week, we are going to use partitive division today. So we're going to use partitive division to find the quotient of 50 divided by 2/3. The second step, which is the same as last time, is to then draw a model. Okay, so when we draw our model, we know that our divisor, actually the denominator in our divisor, because it's a fraction, is going to tell us how many units we need. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 units. Now we have to ask ourselves, what does this 50 represent? So this 50 is going to represent 2 out of the 3 units. So we're going to go ahead and write up there 50 represents 2 of those 3 units, and what our quotient is going to tell us how many we have in total. So right now we're going to leave that as a question mark. Okay, so now we have our model. Next, step 3 is going to ask us to find the answer. So we can actually use our model to help us find that answer. So we're going to look here. We know that 2 units equals 50. Okay, 2 equals 50. Therefore, we can tell that if we divide this 50 by 2, divide by 2, 50 divided by 2 is going to give us 25. Therefore, each of these units is actually worth 25. So we can just write 25, 25. If we do 25 times 3, that gives us then 75. So altogether, we have 75. And now our question mark is filled in. There we go. Now we have the answer that we are looking for. This brings us to our 4th step, which is choosing a unit. So if I'm thinking of good units for a question like 50 divided by 2/3, the one that I thought of was dollars. You can choose a number of different units. It just really depends on what your numbers are in the problem. Some other examples that would work for this specific problem would be people in a grade, or yards in a race, even plants in a garden. So for this problem, I chose dollars because I think that works well, and it can really let us see what we're working with. And that brings us to step 5, is to set up a situation. This is our final step when we're writing division problems. Because I used dollars, we went with a problem that looks a little bit like this. So Jalen spent $50 on a new game. This was 2/3 of her money. How much money did we start with? We can see that that works with partitive division, because if you look over at our model here again, if Jalen spent $50 on a new game, okay, and that $50 is 2 out of 3 that she started with. If that was 2 out of 3, we can see that 50 divided by 2 equals 25 per part, and 25 times 3 gives us that 75, which is our answer. So she started with $75.